Well, how's it going, Kingsman? It has been a while, and I'm not even gonna deny it's been a while. Welcome back. Hope you guys are all doing well. I have had a very long break, but yeah, we're back at NTW3. I can't promise. There's been a lot of trainings and more trainings actually to come. Work, stuff that's kind of an important part of my job. With the job I do have in the fire department, it is important to go to these trainings and all that. So I'm sorry, guys. Like I said, I know it's been a while, but you're never gonna totally get rid of me. I will always be around. It may not be. It may be some breaks every once in a while, but I'm never going away. But anyway, I missed you guys, missed these videos. So we are back. We are with a 4v4 on Dresden. This one is going to be fought between the, I believe, 1812 corps. You have Russia facing off against the French and Saxon and Bavarian armies. Let's go over the points before these armies close in here. So on the far right flank for France, if you're looking from the French perspective, France has the 6-point Sancerre. The Bavarian line center has Saxony, 7-pointer with 8-point Victor. The French reinforcing on the far left flank. You have Murat, the cavalry master. He is going to be rolling in with a lot of cavalry. In fact, he has about 1,100 men. And that's all cavalry. So that's going to be a force to behold on the field. On the Russian side, you have a Duke Torov 9-pointer, a 7-point Tolstoy, 12-point Bagration, and 8-point Tormasov. And they are bringing a lot of infantry in comparison to the French. So it's going to be interesting to see how these two, once Murat gets here, I'm sure things will even out just a little bit. But right now, there's obviously Russians basically in every direction. We're seeing a huge Russian presence here. And I have no idea which units are which. But a lot of light infantry in this Russian line. Bavaria has their work cut out for them. They're going to try to hold this town as best they can. And right now, guys, replays, I mean, probably a good thing I took a break anyway. There was some slim pickings for a minute there, trying to find good replays. Honestly, it's I'm going to try to find some more. I'm going to try to get back into streaming, like I said before. All within good time, obviously, because, man, life is just busy. Life is busy. As kids get older and all that, life's just going to get busier. So this will probably take less of a priority, as it should, in my family life. But that actually helps build up some good replays, for me to be able to present to you guys. I hate presenting replays that are total steamroll. Sometimes I just have to, and that's okay. Still show some good, hopefully some, even if they are one-sided, I like to at least show some good strategy. Sometimes it's not even how badly you play, it's just one little mistake which everybody will make in battles, and that enemy, the other side, just exploits it beautifully. And that is realistic. That is how real life will go. Anyway, you have Bavaria definitely getting pushed here. You have light infantry, surprisingly, going in for a bayonet charge, I think. Trying to overwhelm the Bavarian line here. Trying to maybe isolate them, grab the bridgehead before that happens. You have Russia going in for these grenadiers, this LOC.
Our men are running, sir.
And I do believe they lose that LOC in the front in this nice open field. Bavaria has, like I said, guys, work cut out for them. You can see Russia in melee already, surprisingly using their light infantry to go in for the attack. Interesting choice. As more and more Russians push forward here, setting up another base of assault, and Bavaria is just getting absolutely crushed And this is starting to look pretty bad already for France and the Alliance. LOC, oh man. Bavaria needs to run. They should have probably run a long time ago, honestly. We have Murat rushing over some Polonaise, maybe to help out in that department. But Russia seems pretty well cemented in this push. Now, of course, this LOC being held, maybe able to stall the Russians, but right now, Russia is just absolutely they have a lot of momentum rushing forward. And if they can crush this 6-pointer, well, that can help them out. Now, I think Bavaria is going to get some of their troops out of the way before that happens. Unfortunately, they did not seize that riverhead. We do have Victor pushing across to kind of maybe ease up. This is, of course, going to force Russia to divert forces here. We have a cavalry charge, maybe. No, Polonaise, maybe we're going to go in. Russia going for a flank. Man, Bavaria needs to cut and run at this point, in my opinion. They need to cut and run entirely. Just pull back the bulk of your forces, leave the LOC. Maybe they can stall this area out here, but this does not look hopeful at all. Russia's just going for, like, a hammer against them. I mean, you just, like, blunt force trauma to Bavaria. There's some situations where you have to accept that you may have to make a retreat. Those who fight and run away will live to fight another day. He's a very good, you know, something very good to live by sometimes. You have Murat's cavalry trying to slow up the Russians who just, and they smacked them around a little bit. Now, Bavaria is actually trying to hold. They have artillery that is set up. 2 artillery pieces, and they are not actually totally backing down. They have pulled back quite a bit, but they're trying to hold this LOC. Like I said, I don't know if that's very wise or not. Then again, maybe they're being told to hold because Victor is pushing across to surround them. Now, of course, this is going to be interesting because the Saxon army has Russians in front of them and a Russia that's pushing across the river to shadow Victor. So they may have to start pulling back. Maybe they're going to hold the center. I don't know. But once Murat's heavy cav gets to the field, some dragoons and some cuirassiers, maybe, just maybe, they can shift things back in their favor. Right now, Russia's still, cavalry charge as well. Using their cuirassiers to break up Bavaria. They kind of, I'm sure they are sensing that things are close. The cusp of routing for Bavaria. Holding on by a thread. How many more analogies can I give? No, I was kidding. Yeah, so Victor, he wants to push on Russia, but obviously this other Russia is going to be contesting that push. So he's going to have to actually set up a line of defense. Ooh, someone's charging an LOC. It's over here. Lagging it out a little bit. But with Murat's cavalry on the field, they should be able to push their weight around a little bit more than they otherwise would be able to do and get some charges on the Russians, who for the most part cannot square. Russia's going to have to start worrying about infantry and enemies in their back. Bavaria still fighting here. He still has some of his army. Skirmishers over here. Infantry can keep pulling back. Here's where things are going to get interesting. Oh, nice. Chevaliers smacking in to the Russian line, slowing down their assault. And this is where Russia's going to have to start really being careful. That cavalry can wreak havoc on their lines very quickly. They have a nice battery set up to defend. Their flank is firing in. It's going to force the Russians to have to either push in this direction, which they are, against the Saxon army, or they're going to have to push across the river and keep fighting here. Another big cav push as these Chevaliers charge in against another Russian line. Now we have cav on cav. Russia trying to defend their line. Infantry cycling cavalry in and out. They are going to start pushing the Russians back. And of course, they have more Russians who are just kind of trying to ignore this Victor Corps, this Murat Victor Corps, and trying to destroy the Bavarians, who are actually seeming to have made a bit of a stand here. They're falling back, but they have made a bit of a stand, which is huge. This is actually a very pivotal fight here. You can see over here, though, Russia pushing against the Saxon line. I think Saxony can hold out for the time being. Russia is starting to take some real losses here as the cavalry and infantry are pushing forward together. Oh, we have a bayonet charge. With so much cav from France, though, I mean, there's not a lot of options for Russia. They do not have the cav to compete. This is actually going to be a concerning push here. Saxony is going to have to hold this. They have to. They cannot fold in, and they unfortunately are about to be hit by a lot of Russians. They do not have the men for this. It's at least 4 units of dragoons, if not more, over here. Oh, Saxony's got to pull back. They have to. They're going to die here. Got to. Yep, and they are starting to pull the line, shorten it up a little bit more. Let's go back to this fight over here. France trying to break whatever Russian cav is over here. Murat has committed a lot of his dragoons to this fight on the cav versus cav. Probably wants to save his cuirassiers for the fight over here. And Russia is losing for the most part. You can see they've taken several losses here. They have forced Russia back across the river. And all of these cuirassiers, I'm assuming, being a cav corps be tricky. You know, he's probably got to divert forces over here to help Bavaria. He's helping Victor over here, and then he's probably got to help the Saxons. Oh no, here comes the mass cav and infantry. Look at this. Look at this formation. Cavalry pushing in, line of street firing. You have all this light infantry just ready to go in. Look at this. It's a perfect attack. They force them into square with the cavalry. They have infantry waiting. They're pushing. Oh, man. And then the bayonets go in. And there's nothing they can do about it. There's nothing except for trying to counter shoot. Uh-oh. Oh, man. Yeah, Bavaria got mauled, unfortunately. They got hit. I wouldn't be surprised if this was one of the high points. An 8 or a 9 or 12 even. I wonder what point this was. Bavaria is trying to save his army. He's actually managed to save a decent chunk of his army. Trying to save his horse artillery now. And you can see he has a couple units. Oh man, Russia's really trying to catch him out here. Victor's still pushing on the Russians. That's Russia now. Is in melee with Saxony. Good grief. Nice counter volley. This is it, guys. This is the hold that Saxony has to win. Now, we do have some cuirassiers from Murat pushing over as Saxon's line starts to break, unfortunately, in a couple places. A pivotal moment here. Bavaria has managed to actually, he got his horse artillery across. He got a couple lines of infantry across. Maybe he can hold the bridge with artillery and with some cav support. Victor still pushing here. With Murat helping. More cavalry from Russia. Gonna go for the artillery piece.
Our men are running for.
Murat's probably like, set me on him. And he does. Heavy cavalry mashing into the Russian line. as Murat's unleashing his hordes of cavalry here. He's gonna start hitting the flank, I'm assuming, of the Russian advance. Russia has all their calves stacked up right here. Nothing to defend their left flank. I think they're gonna start to regret that pretty quick here. Murat still harassing. Well, not. It's mostly Victor, actually. Victor's mostly taking this. Yeah, he has done an excellent job. He's just crushing this flank, whatever's left of it. Now, they do have a Russian... it's going to be an attack on the rear, so France is probably going to just ignore this and maybe lunge at the Russian force that is sitting against Saxony. Oh, more crosshairs charging in. You love some nice, juicy, heavy cav charges. And I think we're going to see that. So this is the perfect place for Murat. Open fields. And why is Russia leaving their cavalry here and not pushing it over to compete with all these crosshairs? Defend your infantry. Here we go. Another heavy cav going in once again. I think they do hit a square, but still, the impact can still be the same.
Our men are running.
It is slowing down the Russian advance, as you can see. And we have a flanking charge from Murat. This could be a huge... Now, these troops are going to get... These cav are going to get shot as they run in front of infantry. Not the most ideal of cav charges, but you see it doesn't matter because they start shattering the left side of this Russian line. Now the cavalry is shifting over, diverting over to this side, but it may be a bit too late as their line has folded. I'm sorry, I'm not keeping up with Victor's attack. I mean, he's been forcing the Russians into more tighter and tighter of a line, and they're just running in with their chevaliers and then line infantry as well. Beautifully done. They are definitely ignoring this Russian line. They are absolutely ignoring this. And that, honestly, is probably the best strategy they could do. Force the Russians here to either have to retreat and get run down or stand their ground and then die. I think that's what's going to happen either way. But the thing is, France has got to play their cards right. They're charging a unit in LLC over here. France needs to minimize their losses so that they have troops to deal with this huge Russian corps that's still alive. Now here we go. Murat's doing what they do best. Russia deciding to call the retreat, and Murat's just going to run them down, cut them down as they march. Sending in some tired crosshairs against the Russians. Dragoons, oh, they gotta kill some Russian cavalry. They have to destroy this corps in its entirety and then turn and face the Russians. Ooh, look at this battery, though. Oh, even Bavaria got his horse artillery over here. That's a lot of guns. And they are training onto this Russian corps. And the beautiful thing is, they can pull back into the open field and force the Russians to push into their guns. Oh my gosh, look at the cav. Look at the cav everywhere. There we go, another heavy cav charge. Excellent charge again.
Our men are running for.
Russia can't stand against this, and the Saxon line felt so much pressure and managed to stand, can now turn and help out against the Russians. And you can see Russia has lost the majority of their cav. They do have some back here. They're definitely going to pull back and try to stay away from Murat. Oh man, look at this. Look at all this Russian infantry that's getting just caught by one crossier. Now we do have some lancers charging in, trying to break Murat's cavalry, but he's going to send in even more. And oh, the flanking charge on these poor lancers who are not going to be able to stand up against these heavy French cav. They're going to send even more in, which may be what Murat wants, because then he can start to divide and conquer. He's going to keep hitting flanking charges on them. And ooh, this may be it for this Russian cav corps, or this Russian corps. It's not a cavalry corps. So look, they're just getting caught out everywhere. And with friends routing, it's going to be a bit of a tough pill for them to swallow. Their men are going to have a tough time standing. Now, we got to also take inventory, guys. Let's see how Murat's Cav Corps is doing, because they're probably going to be a huge key to winning against this Russia. They got some active, some winded, some exhausted, tired. I don't see anything that's fresh, unfortunately. I mean, he's been, you know, throwing cavalry at the enemy for a good solid 5 minutes at least. But now he can start resting them up. Russia has retreated inside Dresden. I believe that's Dresden, right? The town? Is it the town called Dresden? Is that where, I don't know. Yeah, Dresden. So they've retreated inside Dresden. There's a couple choke points. It's safer against the cavalry. However, if we pull this map back up, each point is only, that's worth 2 points. I think for the most part, everything is 1 point. So if they just stay inside Dresden, they will die. Or they will lose by LOC victory, because France can just literally take every other LOC and win. So we will see what Russia plans on doing. They have nothing else left. I mean, they have something over here. I'm not sure what, but a beautiful tactical fight, guys. I mean, that was, the French were not steamrolling, which is honestly what I was concerned about. I was looking at the replay and I was like, oh man, this does not look like a even fight, but it definitely was. I mean, the right flank of France just collapses because of the massive core of Russia that just rushed into the town. And the problem being, guys, there was not an easy retreat for Bavaria for a little bit there. Then once that, they able to counterattack, save a little bit more. But still, they had a collapsing of Saxony for a second and rushing the reinforcements, the Cav Corps over to save. That was beautiful. That was perfect here. We do have some cavalry, looks like, engaging. Oh, canister from Victor just saves the day, breaking one of those cav. And then they break the other one. And at this point, what's Russia gonna do? That is the question I am sure you are thinking or asking yourself. And if you're not, well, then you should be. No, I'm just kidding. They're probably gonna stand their ground. Now, of course, these are all, for the most part, I see a lot of clan names in this battle, so they aren't going to be someone who's just going to try trolling or like, you know, just staying and not fighting. If they see they've basically lost, I'm sure they'll advance and try to make a last glorious stand. They know they can't win by LOC either. Now, man, this battle's barely been going. It's like 23 minutes. This is going to be a short video. Well, for the first one, maybe short is better for my voice. I haven't talked this much in a minute. Now, there is still some Russians over here. Haven't done much, though. Here we go. Russia going for Saxon lines. Cav can't help them in this little area.
We have killed their general, sir. Now they must break.
Here we go. Here comes the breakout. Now we have Bavarian artillery waiting, probably to give some canister, as Russia's trying to brute force their way through the Saxon line. And quite honestly, they probably will. Here we go. Some canister. Nice. Are they gonna fire again? Please tell me you'll fire one more time. One more time. Oh man, they almost fired, guys. They almost. And I think it's actually gonna save them. And more artillery setting up as well. Saxons giving some volleys and retreating. They have cavalry to slow down the Russian line. Oh man, they're gonna catch them. Oh, Russia. Okay, you gotta be kidding me. He's going. They're. I got no words. I really have no words. That was suicide, basically, for the Russians. Kind of cool, though. I mean, they just lined up. They lined up for Murat to just absolutely roll them, and it worked. Man. Canister just ripping apart this Russian line. And like I said, guys, this is basically this Russian player conceding that he's probably lost. So he's just going to go full on, full sending an attack. Good on them not sitting in the town, you know? Props to the sportsmanship. Here comes Murat. Actually, like I said, I really love this battle. It was a nice, like, it was some good strategy and maneuvering. Yeah, really good maneuvering, I think. And it won the French the day because they decided just to isolate. They were in a pretty large line here. They were committing in the town. They were over here. They were over here. And they were losing over here and over here for a minute, but pulling back. Victor kind of on his own. Murat rushing over to help out with, what is it? The Saxons, Rainier? I don't know. I know I butcher stuff, guys, and people will tell me how to say stuff every once in a while, and I'll remember about half of it. I wish I had more time to be able to just sit down and study a bunch of them, but sadly, that's not the case. Anyway, I think this battle is over. If nothing else, I may just skip ahead to the results. So we can see, and what do you know, that's about a 27 minutes, be a 30-minute video, basically, if I can talk for 3 minutes solid. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that. I'm not about the monetization and views and stuff. So, yeah, I think there's nothing else really. There's some scattered units. I'm not going to make you guys sit through that. Just, they're going to get run down and killed. So we will just skip ahead, and look at the results here. So, a French victory. I think we actually needed one of those. There was a coalition victory the last replay I had, or two before that. So, you know, trying to do a little of both. Man, my chair squeaks so much. You don't hear it until the game volume isn't there. Anyway, guys, let's hear the results for this battle. So you have Matt Bob as Murat, the Cav Corps, 1680 for the kills. You have Colt as the Saxons, a 7-pointer with 945. You have the Nate Devourer as Bavaria with 852. That's actually pretty good considering how hard he got hit in the very, very beginning. Then you have Heinze as Victor. He got 1119 for the kills. Now, honestly, I would not have guessed the kills for the Russian side would have been so low based on how well they were actually doing for most of the battle. But I guess they got hit really hard all of a sudden. But you have Sim. He was playing as 9-point Duke Tarov. He got 527. Kepler, he was playing Tolstoy. 7-pointer, 377 for the kills. You have Pope playing as Bagration. I bet you, but yep, the 12-pointer went against Bavaria, I bet, because he has the most kills and they wiped out Bavaria. He got 1681 for the kills. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Mr. Noisy, he's playing a Tormasov 8-pointer with 571 for the kills. But yeah, a very good battle. I think the French managed to just be a little more maneuverable, and I think that actually helped them out. They were able to isolate, destroy parts of the Russian army bit by bit. If Bagration, I think, had been in the center to help out with the other attacks, maybe that would have helped. Bavaria may have been the sacrificial piece that kind of took up all of the 12-pointers' attention, and Francis managed to destroy all the other points, and then Bagration was left all on his own. So, you know, a bit of a strategic victory for the French, and well done. Well done on both sides. Good game. But yeah, guys, that'll be it for me today. Thank you all so much for joining me. I really appreciate, as always, the support. I appreciate you guys didn't just like all disappear and assume that I was just not coming back. As always, I know you guys understand I have a life, and I appreciate you guys always being understanding. And until next time, guys, I will catch you all in another video. You guys stay safe. and I'll hopefully talk with you guys soon.